Hello and welcome once again to Better Than Before, live online. This is Dave Edelstein here to talk to you about all things to do with mindfulness, communicating, relating, getting along, and just being a nice person. Um, Today, I apologize for the bad framing. Hi, Steve. I apologize for the bad framing of this video. Um, the living room is kind of a wreck because we decided to um, tile a wall because of humidity problems. So yeah, everything's a little bit disordered, and I'm glad just to have this space to talk to you. I see that this is not one of the darkest videos, but it's a little twisted. I hope that you don't find that too disorienting. Today, I suppose really in honor of my daughter's birthday, my daughter turns 28 today, my daughter Maya. Um, I thought I would say something about children and connection, because of course, communicating and connecting hi James, is one of my big themes, one of my central themes. Um, Human connection, feeling connected to other people, um, feeling that you are part of life, that others care about you, that you care about others, that you are giving in a way that others can appreciate. This is a central value to me. I know that some people are real dyed-in-the-wool, hi Bruce, are real dyed-in-the-wool loners and really feel most comfortable alone. But and I wouldn't want to seem to be judging or negative about anyone choosing to live that way. But I do feel that for most people, including me, absolutely, a life without other people just feels like something is missing. The contact with other minds, the contact with other hearts, the contact with other souls is something that just matters to me instinctively. I think that this is true for most people. At the biological level, humans and other advanced primates travel in groups. Being part of the group is kind of essential for human beings. If you think of the human being in nature, we wouldn't have gotten very far except for our extraordinary ability to communicate and connect with each other and work as a team. There are other animal species that work effectively as teams with much more limited communication abilities. Canines, for example, wolves, wild dogs, communicate very effectively and work in packs very effectively. But humans are extraordinary in our ability to do this. Dolphins are good at working as teams. But we working as teams, working in groups, communicating with each other, have changed the surface of our planet, for better or for worse. But it is that grouping ability, that ability to work in groups, to organize ourselves, that make humans so powerful as a kind of force of nature. Today I thought I'd say something about what our children teach us about connection. Again, thinking of my daughter's birthday being today. She was born 28 years ago. She and my son are both talented and independent young adults living their independent lives in the United States, while I luxuriate here in Ecuador. The thing about having children for me, my ability to connect was always a little iffy. Certainly, I had plenty of friends. I was able to get along with people. I wasn't a dyed-in-the-wool loner. I wasn't uh, terribly awkward around other people. But when my daughter was born, there was this sensation of instantaneous bonding. I've described it as feeling like something shot right through me that was unlike any other human connection that I'd ever felt before. It didn't compare with the birth of my brothers. I'm the oldest of four brothers. I have three younger brothers. Their births did not do this to me. My relationship with my parents is close and valuable. That relationship did not do this to me. But when my daughter was born, there was this sense of immediate, profound connection that this tiny person and I were going to go through the rest of our lives together, come hell or high water. That was entirely new. And then, as my daughter grew, and then my son was born, and as he grew, my need to communicate with them, my need to understand them, my need to consider my relationship with them as something that was driven by what was good for their well-being and growth, not necessarily mine, but theirs. Sometimes mine was in there too. I was not a doormat dad, waiting for my children to trample all over me. I had my limits. I had my standards, and I did work to understand them, and I did empathize with my children. But I also sometimes pushed them. Sometimes I felt that their angle on a situation was not a mature one, because of course they were children. Was not broad enough, did not take another person's feelings into account enough. But always, whatever I was doing with them, verbal communication, nonverbal communication, simply being present, the foundation of everything was my complete acceptance of them as human beings, because we were so bonded. There could be no rejection of them without rejecting myself. We were too tightly joined. And lately, I wrote a story that I posted on my timeline the other day, and thinking again about my daughter and my son today. What if we valued our connections with other people the way we value our connections with our children? Sure, other people come with other stuff. We have a certain responsibility to guide and lead children that would be inappropriate with our peers, just frankly inappropriate. We sometimes need to let our children know that things need to be done in a different way, or that some threshold has been crossed. But sometimes we need to do that with others too. But with our children, as I said, I was not a doormat dad. I would not let my children run all over me. But there was never any feeling, either on my children's parts or my parts, that in establishing a limit or establishing a boundary, that there was ever any rejection or separation or distancing of myself from them. What if, hi Kat, what if in our, let's say, marital relation, we could establish limits, we could set boundaries, we could say what it is that we cannot accept, without distancing ourselves from the ones we love, without saying it's my way or the highway. No, this is my boundary, this is my limit. We are still absolutely connected, but I require this level of treatment. I require this level of communication. I require this level of respect, which I will happily return to you. It's not for me to have and for you not to have. It's for me to have and for me to give to you so that we can remain connected forever, so that we will always be joined through and through. Just as I am saying to you now that I am with my children, that this is how it is. Establishing limits, being honest, being authentic, never has to imply a lack of acceptance, negative judgment, distancing, withdrawing, withholding, cruelty, meanness, unkindness. We can always do it together. We can always be honest with a purpose of joining, with the goal of uniting, the goal of becoming closer, becoming more loving and not less so. And I have seen this, and I know it is possible because I have seen this not only with my children, but with my wife, with certain friends. With these important people in our lives, we can always be who we are without losing our place. So if you are fortunate enough to have children to interact with them, enjoy them, and watch yourself, observe yourself. You've got skills you haven't even become aware of yet. Watch yourself communicate frankly and honestly and deeply with your children without distancing yourself from them. And apply those skills with other people in your life so that you can be connected. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. If you've gotten any value out of this, please like it and share it around. It's the only way I can reach the world is by you sharing. I hope you'll do so. And I'll be here again tomorrow to talk about these life issues of connection, communication, mindfulness, and relating here on Facebook. Thanks very much for tuning in. Good night now.